Hey everyone, Caribbean Real Estate Scout here. Today I want to talk about the most ideal locations for buying real estate on St. Thomas. In front of you, I have a satellite map of St. Thomas. I actually had to piece this thing together with a USGS website. So I have three different maps pieced together. It's not a clear cut map in terms of there's a few graphical anomalies that I didn't piece together 100%, but I mean, it gets the job done. You can see that neighborhood, you see the streets there and the names, but you know, really great details on the development, how many people are there, beaches in the area, bays, the names of the bays. You get an idea of how populated an area is. But yeah, I want to talk about St. Thomas. St. Thomas is kind of near and dear to my heart because I got married over in Red Hook, and I kind of have a feeling of the island. I've driven pretty much about 70% of the island. I haven't been over to Botany Bay, but I've pretty much been into the interior, and I've been over to Charlotte or Raleigh, and yeah, even been over to St. John. But let me go over using this map, the ideal areas that I think are good for buying real estate and the reasons why. Another thing is, I forgot to mention this. If you would like this map, I'm going to leave a link in the description, and you can have this map for free and just use it for whatever you would like to kind of inspect these various areas. So I'll give you a link, and you can just download that map and just have it for free, And let me know if you'd like other maps, because I have access to topographic maps all over the island, and I'd be happy to help you guys out with that. Anyways, my first area is Red Hook. Red Hook, I believe, is an ideal location to buy real estate, and the reason why is its proximity to St. John. They run a regular ferry from St. Thomas to St. John, and this opens up the possibility for lots of different properties and the things that you want to do. Let's say you want a rental property for vacationers. Well, guess what? If you've got a property by that ferry, you could easily tell someone that they could walk over to the ferry, take the ferry over to St. John, and have a day trip. And while I was getting married, that's exactly what me and my wife did. We had daily day trips over to St. John for the entire day. We would just pack up a backpack. We'd bring whatever we would need, umbrella, towels, everything, and we just get on the ferry. We go to beaches all over St. John. We go to Trunk Bay, Hawks Nest, Cinnamon Bay. It really was that easy. And that's why I think if you want a vacation rental that you want to make it appealing to people, you can add in, you can go to a different island. If you're not satisfied with St. Thomas, even though St. Thomas has great beaches as well and great things to do, you could hop on over to St. John. And that's why I think as just one aspect of rental for vacationing, that's ideal. Maybe if you want a long-term rental and someone who works, over on St. John and doesn't necessarily want to live over on St. John, but needs to commute over using the ferry, Red Hook's another good location for doing a long-term rental and that kind of situation. Even if you're retiring and you want to go over to St. John regularly, I just think this is a great location. This is not even to mention the fact that the restaurants are pretty nice in Red Hook. There's even some restaurants down in Nazareth. I know there is a resort down over in here. I don't know if it's like a fish market restaurant, which is really nice, and it's on the beach. I think there might be one down in Nazareth. Not 100% sure, but certainly I really like this area. I think this is where you want to be. The Ritz-Carlton is where I got married at, and it's over in this area, and it's just a high end area. I just really like it, and this map kind of is interesting in that you can kind of see how populated the area is. So if land pops up for sale, hypothetically, and you want to look at the Red Hook area and you want to build, you can use this map to kind of see, well, how many neighbors am I going to have? Is there a road? Maybe you can petition the government to build a road to connect certain areas. I know I have certain questions about Red Hook, because if you look at Tutu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. But there's not a direct road that goes into Red Hook. Certainly, you have roads over here. And I know there's some elevation changes over here, but why isn't there? You have to go around this entire, forested area. Why isn't there a connecting road? And there could be various reasons why. But certainly, if you could petition the government and say, listen, I want a road going through here, or maybe they don't want to. These are all questions that I've had when looking at these maps. But it's interesting to look at these maps and to think about certain things like that. But yeah, Red Hook is on my list for real estate for sure. And honestly, since I haven't been over to Botany Bay, I can't make any assumptions over on that area, so I kind of stick Charlotte or Raleigh and I go east. But my next location that I think is probably very, very ideal on St. Thomas is Magens Bay. If you've been onto the island, Magens Bay is absolutely beautiful. It's a national park. I think it costs $5 or $10 to go to the beach. It's got a nice rum bar / drink bar with snacks. It's a beautiful beach. It's lined with palm trees. You got to get there early to get a shaded palm tree, or you're gonna have to. I don't know if you can bring umbrellas. I forget. Someone will have to comment in the comments about that. But looking at the real estate online over in Peterborough, these are high end houses over here. They're 1.2, 2, 3, 4 million over here. They're all lined here. So if you see anything close to that region, maybe over these are condos, I believe, over by the golf course. But if you get anything close to Peterborough that is under $1 million, it's like a 4-bedroom, or it's in decent shape and it's a nice house, the comps in this area are ridiculous. This is a very high-end area of Magens Bay. Just because the view they have, it's elevated over on this section. It's got a good elevation. You're looking down onto the beach. So I think the view is what's really, propping up those real estate values. The sizes of the homes are too, I'm sure. But this area is just really in high demand. You can see how built up it is. You can see how many homes are in certain locations. But I would say anything in the 800K range, if you find land in this, for a half acre for 120,000, I would move on it. I would move on it quickly. Because, looking at a half acre, I've seen anywhere from, I think in this area I saw land available for purchase around 200,000. I'd have to do another video on that, but I think it was around 200,000 for about a half acre. And a lot of the listings, that's the high end of half acre. People charging 200,000, usually you have a really good view. But, certainly if you want something a little bit smaller, you could look at Loveland and Mandal. You're going to find a lot of condos over here. Looking on realtor.com, I saw condo listings all over, right around this golf course. They're sprinkled all over here. And I'm sure it makes sense because they developed over by Magens. Just because people love that beach. And it's a really nice beach. It's a really nice beach for snorkeling. But yeah, I think anything in this area, I'm not really sure. Lurkland, I'm not familiar with that area. I have to look at it, but it looks interesting. It looks like there's a lot of land available. I don't know if it's because it's national park land. the reason why this is, underdeveloped. But if you look over here, underdeveloped. Even over in Barrett, I think, if there's land available over here, that could be interesting. And you might have to do some road building. You might have to do some road building yourself if you buy a property over here. You buy land and you want to build over here, you might have to do some road building, which I think is fine if you can do it. You can get the equipment to do it. But yeah, Megan's Bay, that's my second best choice. I really, really like that beach. I just think it's where people want to be. If you want a vacation rental and you want to use it as a vacation rental, this is the way to go. My next location, and I saw pretty good deals on it. I've seen at least, I'll have to go back to a list of properties, but I want to say it was south of 2. I think it was over here in Belongo. No, it was Frenchman's Bay. I'm sorry. It was Frenchman Bay area. There was a property, like a 4-bedroom for like, I want to say like, it needed work. It was like 500,000. But it had a great view of the ocean. And, another aspect, if you're going to buy a fixer-upper, there is one Home Depot on the island. It's in Tutu. And, definitely utilize that resource. It's great that they have a Home Depot on the island. It makes, working on a fixer-upper much, much easier. Make sure you have a truck, obviously. Maybe you can find a friend with a truck. You could possibly rent out a truck locally. I don't know how much it is, though, but that's an option as well. But yeah, I like this Belongo area. I saw some deals on it, and you're also getting you're close to Charlotte Amalie, but you're not in the throes of it. You're not gonna be right there. The only thing about Belongo that I realized recently, and I'll say this, maybe I want to stick more to Frenchman Bay, but Belongo, the only thing I noticed is there's a landfill that's kind of close to it. It's over here, and I just recognized this recently using the satellite map. This is why satellite maps are so useful. You get a little bit more information on the layout of the island. There's a landfill right there. So, do you want to buy property near a landfill? That's up to you. But, I know that Frenchman Bay is a little bit more of a distance away from it, which is good. It's good. So, I'm going to reword. I'm not going to do Belongo. I'm going to do Frenchman Bay. I saw property over here just because the landfill kind of covering my ass. But, the rest of the island, I know this section of the island, the middle part that's above Charlotte Amalie, the elevations go up, and you go up. If you've driven on this island, you're going to be going up high, and the views are really outstanding. They're breathtaking when you go up in these mountains. If you're not used to, going really high up in these narrow roads, you certainly get a little nervous and clench a steering wheel a little bit tighter. But, once you get up to here, it's really just amazing views, especially if you look down into the harbor. It really is breathtaking. But yeah, my next, I guess you could say, chosen area is generally, I would say, in this area. And I don't really have a specific town. I would say, raised elevation up here. I'm not too familiar with this area, so I'm just going to lightly circle the hand over in this area. And, so getting back to these maps, and here's the airport, of course, you can see the layout of land. I really love these satellite maps. They just loaded with information. Docks, Even Water Island, you can see how populated Water Island is. Um, and you can see where the beaches are, how big the beaches are, where the houses are, and the proximity to the beach. You know, really, really just a great asset to have. So yeah, I'll just leave you with that. And I think the two best areas are gonna be Megan's Bay and Red Hook. I'm just really appealing for the entire island. Uh, you could throw in Koki Beach. I'll throw in Koki Beach. It's a really popular tourist destination. I never went, but I know a lot of people who, for the first time on the island, they wanted to go to Koki. And it's close to Tutu. It's close to, if you need to get shopping done with uh, Home Depot or, there are condos in this area. I've seen several condo listings in the Koki Beach area, and it makes it appealing. It's closer to Red Hook. Koki Beach is closer to Red Hook. You're not going to walk to Red Hook from Koki. It's just too far. You're going to need a car or scooter. You could have a scooter in Koki and bring it down. So, I mean, Koki is this area right here could have potential. And, yeah, I'd put that up there. Someone's selling Thatch K. If you look on real estate, someone's selling this island. I think it's at 20 million. This would be a resort island. Someone who buys this wants to develop a resort. It's at 20 million. It's a big island. It's bigger than water. Nah, never mind. It's a little less than water. Yeah, it's a little less. It's less than water. But someone could develop it, or they could subdivide the land. That's a possibility. You have to think about it. I know that people have developed Livongo. I get advertisements for Livongo all the time. Someone has developed over here. You can see some roads. Is it Livongo K? Yeah, someone's developed over here. You have to think about hurricanes is another thing, because when a hurricane comes in, it's coming this way. It's coming from the east. It's going west. So, Thatch K is going to get hit hard. This section of the island, Grouper Point, Evan Point, this is going to get hit hard. The interior right here might not get the brunt of it. Depends on the elevation. There's another thing when you think about real estate is, especially on the Caribbean, is hurricanes. It's just something, you might get a high cat. You might get a high category hurricane hitting this area. It's hit before, and it's just, especially St. John's. St. John's gotten pummeled. So it's just something to keep an eye out. Certainly Red Hook could get a brunt of a hurricane because it's on the eastern part of the island. But as long as you do your due diligence, you construct, you make sure the construction's good. It's got reinforced structures. You do your due diligence on the property, and maybe even look at past records of properties that have gotten damaged in that area and where they were. Look at certain regions where, make markings where, there were numerous damages to certain areas of Red Hook. It could be the wind just, hits too hard in this one area. So these are all things that you need to make a list of and, figure out. So, I'll leave this map in the description. Please leave it in comments if you have any questions. Please subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing videos like this where we look at islands, we do property assessments, and have opinions and views on certain properties. And definitely subscribe. All right, we'll see y'all soon. All right, bye.